Hi, this is Dr. Cooper, and this is a podcast for the ENG101 Freshman Composition course. Today's podcast is the last podcast, Week 16, weekly podcast. It is time for our final exam. In most classes, the final exam is feared because you have to try to remember everything that you learned throughout the 16 weeks and then regurgitate it back to your instructor. But in this class, your final exam is a writing portfolio. So you're going to grab the most exciting material that you've written, I would like to call it exciting, and present it as your assessments for the course. So the key things that you have to keep in mind is that the final exam is a two-part final exam. The first part is a self-assessment essay that you will write this week and part of next week. And the other part, which is part of the 100 points that you're going to earn for this final exam. But the other part you've been working on for the whole 16 weeks. And what that is the blog that you've been blogging on. You've also been posting some assessments there. And we are going to go in and take a look at those assessments and make sure that you have everything there. So first, on the part 1, you can see here in the instructions that basically you're going to write a self-assessment similar to the one that you wrote for assignment number 6. But instead of focusing on one essay, you're going to focus on all 4 that you've written so far for this semester. And you want to make sure that you touch on all of the competencies for this course. And they're listed here, 1 through 7. Okay, so you're going to talk about things that you did well, and you're also going to talk about things that you still need to work on, and talk about things that you've learned. So as you scroll down, you will see the instructions are listed here. Okay, now remember, this isn't a 5-paragraph essay where your introduction is 1 paragraph, the things that you did well is a paragraph, what you learned is a paragraph, what you need to work on. These paragraphs should be longer, so 1 to 2 paragraphs in length. So we're looking for a little bit more than just a basic 500-word, 5-paragraph essay. Okay, so keep that in mind as you go through this process. All right, so this essay that you are writing for your final exam will be posted to your journal, to your blog, and you will create a new page called assessment number 6, and then you will post it to that page. So let's take a quick look at a blog to see what it should all look like. Okay, so here are 2 examples of a final exam writing portfolio. This is Jessica's example, and you can see that this is her journal where she's been blogging all along here. But over here you can see that these are the pages that she has created. So she has the writing portfolio, or the writing profile that we did on the very first week of the course, and then assessment 5 and assessment 8. So we have a list of 8 total assessments that you will need to create pages for. So when I bring up the page, here you can see the handout for the final exam. And it only says optional because this is written for the instructors, but in your class it's not optional. But basically it goes through all of the information about the final exam, and then towards the end it will show you the 8 assessments that you need to include. So for assessment number 1, it tells you what that is, and then how do you meet that requirement. So doing a rhetorical analysis of a text. So every time you did a rhetorical situation cover page for each of the 4 essays that you wrote, you were meeting assessment number 1. So you just choose any of those cover pages and you add a page on your blog and make that assessment number 1. For assessment number 2, you're going to use essay number 1 to meet those requirements. Okay, so you follow through. So when you go back to your blog, you should have a page for each of the 8 assessments. Here's another example. This example is Lonnie's blog. So you can see here on the front page is her blog. But then up here you'll see that these are pages that she's created. So she only has 2 pages so far, writing profile and assessment number 5. So she will create the other 6 pages, and they will show up across the top here, just like Jessica's did. Okay, so that's what your job is for this week, is to finish your writing portfolio and fill out all of the assessments that are required for the final exam. And they're all listed on this handout on the week 16 page. Okay, so you don't have to create a page for all of them. You'll see here for assessment number 7 that you don't have to create a page. So that's it for now. If you have questions, let me know.